Well, hello guys. I'm going to set myself up to be attacked forever because a couple of you were right. I didn't want you to be right, but you were right. It was the Morrigan going, "Hello." And she comes in, and with me she's very much the crow goddess. She's very much, and this isn't discounting anyone else's experience by the way, but she's very much a crow goddess. Um the crow goddess likes Pop Tarts, and she likes you to play songs for her, and we cooked shepherd's pie. We did the best we could. We cooked shepherd's pie. It didn't come out too good, but it was edible and it was tasty. It just didn't look like any shepherd's pie you've ever seen. And we enjoyed each other's company because she has cattle association and she seems to very much be a meat eater in my experience. So we did that, and like I said, she likes Pop Tarts and she liked the music, and she was looking into my coffee cup, and she's being quite silly and endearing. Placenta can be the same way. I found out a lot of death goddesses will actually have this pretty silly, almost comical side where they'll be giggly and giddy because they know you're not afraid of them. Because I figure if the Morrigan's here for me, I'm gone. There's no sense being afraid of her. If she wanted to hurt me, she could very easily do so. It's the Morrigan. It's not My Little Pony. Watch the bronies get me. And anyhow, um, I wasn't quite sure it was her, and I said, "Oh, it would be so sweet if I could have like some kind of confirmation," even though I was talking to the Morgan. I'm like, I'm just insane. Um, so a horror short came up of this woman goes to get cured, and she goes to the seaside, and there's this hooded black figure on the seaside, and the woman really makes it angry. She throws like her phone away and everything into the ocean or like into a small um tide pool, and that obviously pisses this figure off. And then she goes mucking about the cabin she's staying in, and she opens this box, and this smoke comes pouring out of the box. And what does the moron do? She takes out a pipe and she plays it, and I'm like, yep, you just got a death curse. So the figure ends up coming in, and it ends up she was already chosen. She was going to die, and I'm like, that's the Morgan. That's totally the Morgan. It was the girl would have got a free pass if she would have been respectful of the land and respectful of the sea. And I think this was actually set in Ireland. I wasn't sure. I couldn't quite catch the accent. And the girl just generally pissed the Morgan off, and the Morgan was like, well, if you're going to be a fool and ignore me, because there was no way you could ignore this figure. You know me, I'm a coward. I would have seen the figure and went, "Eep!" and been in the house. But, death caught up with her, because she does have a death aspect, but it wasn't malicious. It was just like, well, you've been a fool, and you've broken the laws of nature. What did you think would happen? Um, and I think it was kind of a message from the Morgan that, well, if you're going to be a fool and cut yourself off from me and cut yourself off from the other gods, you're going to get what's coming to you. Not like a threat, just, this is how the universe works, dear, and I'm telling you as your mother. So I got that, and I got scolded by Apollo last night because Apollo was like, I pick who I work with. And don't you ever let me hear again that you're not this enough or you're not that enough to work with Apollo. I pick who I work with, and I'm like, okay, because this is also a god of plagues and death. And I was like, okay. I love Apollo dearly. So if you work with him, it was just he had to work me past that idea that I wasn't good enough to work with him, and the Morrigan had to do it too, because we know there are a lot of people, and more power to them, but they have to be elitist about everything, right? They can work with their gods because they're the chosen ones. It's like, dude, you sound like you're in a psycho cult of hillbillies hiding in the woods somewhere. And the Morrigan I've experienced, and the Apollo I've experienced, and the Greek gods and goddesses, and all the others that I've been privileged to work with, they come to you on their own time. They show up. If I ignore them, it's to my own disadvantage. If they want to work with me, I figure I should have the courtesy to get over my own self and get over any feelings of inadequacy I have and work with them. So it was very sweet. And I went outside and there were no more crow feathers, but I was just in my yard, though I did find one in my yard one time. And I had a crone, I don't know if I said this time, a crone figure showing up as I was working with the other gods, and I thought nothing of it, because I know so many crone gods and goddesses, and I wasn't quite sure who it was, and I didn't want to be rude and say, who are you exactly? If it seems really super important, I'll ask, but I'm to the point now where it's like, I don't even have to really be able to lock in who I'm working with. They care about me, they love me. That's all that matters to me. Hermes can't help himself. He likes to imitate other gods. So does Loki. So does Baron. I think that Morgan does this sometimes too. But, I can't yell at them for their nature. It's like yelling at a snake for being a snake or something. So it was really eye-opening. And she kind of led me to articles that kind of, not confirm what I was thinking, but as I was looking at it, I was like, a lot of her stories sound like initiation stories. They're almost ritualized, that the goddess comes to you and you reject her and you suffer for it. And she comes to you again and you reject her and you suffer for it. And she's sassing you all the while, because this is the Morgan. She's the queen of sass. And, I think she was telling me, I'm here. I'm being really sweet about it now. You don't have to go insulting me and making me mad. And I'm like, okay. Um, I haven't had that experience. I haven't had her get really mad. The only time I've seen her displeased is when she came in many years ago and the Baron had his grand altar. My office was down in the basement. The Baron wanted to be a complete gentleman and have the lady share with him, and they got along famously until one day I came in and her stuff flew off his altar and he said, "Get that female away from me." And the Morrigan was looking pleased with herself. I said, "You tormented him, didn't you?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Good for you." And she was very pleased, and the Baron didn't talk to me for a week. But, I love the Baron, but one of his fallings is he likes to be arrogant and preen, and, she was having none of it. She'll knock you down a few pegs if she sees you doing it. In fact, her favorite game was chase the gods away and have the goddesses in, because she can do it, because she's the Morrigan, and she scares most gods, I've noticed. But she's a sweetheart. And I know I'm going to get so much hate for that, but in my honest experience, she's a sweetheart. She can be kind of silly and playful. She doesn't care that I learn, Gilliger if I, learn the specific goddesses, attached to her, because no one can agree on which three it is. It's just, she wants love, and she wants in, and she wants time spent with her, and that's really all she's concerned about with me. The one that gets to do the hard work with me is ever and always going to be Loki. He's the one that gets to put me through the painful stuff. So she kind of gets to come in and chill and relax, and I think she enjoys that very much. And it's been a blessing having her here. And we got a lovely storm today, by the way, guys, so we're getting some rain. And I associate her with rain and the sea and a lot of other stuff, too. I saw a beautiful article on her where, for one woman, she's in everything. She's absolutely in everything. There isn't a thing that the Morgan isn't in for her. And that's kind of the relationship I have with Loki. Loki, of course, being Loki, showed up in his death god aspect and was telling me about, Odin and I are close. Who do you think's on the field of war with him, Loki? It's okay. I love you. No one's replacing you. But he was quite serious. He's tried to tell me he's a god of war before. Now, remember, this is Loki. Don't go reading what little we have on the gods. It was probably written by Christians anyhow, trying to figure out whether or not he's a war god. If he tells you he's a god of something, he's the god of it. He's the god of whatever he pleases. If he's the god of music, and he's lately been doing that with me, he's the god of music. Whatever he pleases to be the god of, he's, more than sufficient at it, because he'll work at it until he can teach you something. Or it's already in his storehouse. I'm being very polite, because this is the, death underworld aspect that's been here. And he has a sense of humor, but he's not, I can't push him as far as I usually push Loki in the aspect I usually work with, which is usually pretty chill and likes to play around. So, I hope you guys like this. I hope you could actually hear me. I feel like I'm losing my voice for some reason, probably because I went out in allergy land. But I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.